Hi, this is Jonathan Hewlett.
And I'm Travis Smith with Tech 95. And
yeah, this is our first podcast, so we're not exactly sure what to do now. We're just gonna wing it for the first time,
Well, the first topic is Windows XP. It is dead.
Yeah.
Or so we think.
Yeah, they say it. Like, you go onto Wikipedia, something like that, and, they say Windows XP, and they still say is a personal computer operating system. They don't say was, they still say is.
Because it still exists.
Exactly. It was released August 24th, 2001, 12 whole years ago. Boy, I was almost in diapers at that time. Okay, maybe not really. Well, you weren't. I might have been. I'm more immature. Mainstream support ended on April 14th, 2009, and extended support ended on April 8th, 2014. But extended support for Windows XP Embedded is still lasting until January 12th, 2016.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, Travis, what's your opinion on on people still using Windows XP today?
Well, the reason people still use it today is because some of their programs, like for example, the problem I'm having is I'm trying to run a 16-bit program on a 64-bit operating system, which is Windows 7, 64-bit. However, it'll run just fine on Windows XP, 32-bit. Now keep in mind, 64-bit is backwards compatible to 32-bit. However, you cannot run 64-bit programs, you can't run 16-bit programs on a 64-bit operating system as it is.
I was about to say, if you can't run a 64-bit program on a 64-bit operating system, something's screwed up there.
Yeah, I misspoke there.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, but,
but you can run 16-bit programs on a 32-bit processor. And
32-bit system.
Yes, 32-bit system.
Yeah, so...
And it'll all... Well, maybe with a little bit of compatibility help in the settings. Right-clicking on the exe file and going compatibility mode, but figuring out which one is the right one for you. Now, for other people who still use it, they need to start migrating. Unless they're
doing nothing but word processing, Excel, things like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to internet, anything like XP can still do Facebook, YouTube, and eBay and things like that a little bit, but it's slowly getting to the point YouTube is getting really, really sluggish with Windows XP. But again, it depends on the system too. I mean, you're running XP on like a brand new i7, then you're fine.
Yeah, and if you still like your beloved XP machine, you can easily use a more advanced machine and run Windows XP. Whatever bit you want.
You can get
virtual machine.
In a virtual machine, like Microsoft,
like Oracle's VirtualBox or Microsoft Virtual PC. Yeah.
Microsoft will continue to support Security Essentials. Security Essentials and updates for malicious software removal for XP until July 14th, 2015. So,
and then if you're still running a 2001 computer on a if you're still running a 2001 laptop in 2016,
then it's kind of good luck with that.
Like, what's the difference between that and a car?
Exactly. You have a car. Well, an operating system is different because you have to update it and all the drivers and things.
And if the manufacturer isn't supporting the operating system anymore, the drivers aren't going to be supported. And you're seeing, and here's a good example on the support. If you look in the back of a computer game box on the shelf at your local computer store or or in the electronics section,
little
like Micro Center or something, you're gonna notice that
XP is getting dropped.
Yeah, XP is not being listed as a supported operating system, like on like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, for example. You would see Windows XP.
Windows XP Professional Service Pack 3 is your minimum supported operating system. Now it's getting to the point. The only thing you're going to see for a while now is Windows Vista or 7.
And some operating systems, even if you've noticed, some operating systems have to where they gotta have a specific RAM requirement for a 64-bit operating system. Like say you're using Windows 7 32-bit, you need to have at least 2 gigs of available system memory.
Exactly.
Now, let me clarify something. 2 gig system memory is not the total amount you have in your system. Like say if you got a Windows 7 2 gigs of RAM, then that's not going to cut it. You need 2 gigs dedicated. Like the system isn't using it. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
No, we've pretty much covered it. So, I guess long story short, if you're using Windows XP, you really should start to migrate. It's time.
Or at least look into it.
Look into it. I'm not saying drop it all together at once, but little by little.
Now keep in mind,
it's getting to the point. It's almost time.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Keep in mind that I just heard that Intel is going to be releasing a new processor.
New processors for PC enthusiasts.
Yeah,
I
think they said it's going to be coming out like during the holidays.
Yeah, and that gets into our next topic. Intel is unveiling for 2014 roadmap for fantastic new processors for PC enthusiasts.
And
Ta-da.
with these new processors, Intel is saying that these processors are going to have better battery life for faster performance with the new battery life.
This is some exciting news for PC enthusiasts. In a press release to the technology journalists, the company highlighted the plans to boost the enthusiast segment, including 3 very interesting new processors, including an unlocked Pentium processor, something we haven't seen for many generations in CPU history.
And if you don't mind, this is from Forbes.com.
If you want to look it up, just look up Intel Unveils 2014 Roadmap for fantastic new processors for PC enthusiasts. We're getting this off Forbes.com, of which I recommend. It's a very good website for us PC people. Intel also stated their replacement for the current DDR3 memory, unsurprisingly called DDR4. Duh, what else would they call it?
Well, here's something. Here's something to consider. Why would they put out DDR3, DDR5, and then go back to DDR4?
That's one question I can't answer. Intel's weird sometimes.
Well, if you all know the answer to that, feel free to email us tech95qa@gmail.com.
The new DDR4 will come to its high-end segment, and it will offer the new X99 chipset and look to be the successor to the current X79 LGA 2011 motherboards. The new Intel Core i7 processor Extreme Edition will be available later in this year, 2014. It's the first 8-core desktop processor, the first desktop platform supporting DDR4 memory, and it is supported by the new Intel X99 chipset. And the new 5th gen Intel Core processor with the new Intel Iris Pro graphics has unlocked 5th generation Core processor, codenamed Broadwell, for desktops, and for the first time bringing Intel Iris Pro graphics to desktop socketed unlocked processors. It is based on the 14nm manufacturing process.
And for, not to interrupt you, but for time's sake, we're just going to make you go and read the article, because we're on a tight schedule here.
Yeah, we're on a tight schedule here, so we just pretty much read a lot of the good stuff in the article. Like we said, this is our first podcast, so we're winging it.
We're just playing around with it. If you got any great suggestions to improve on our show,
feel free to let us know. Send us an email, tech95conda@gmail.com. That's TECH95QANDA@gmail.com.
And if you want to find out more, visit our website at tech95.jimdo.com, or if you want us to subscribe to us, hit us up on our YouTube channel,
Tech95 on YouTube. And now for an interesting part of the show. This is my personal segment of the show. I call it History in the PC Realm with John Hewlett. In case you didn't know, that was the startup sound for Microsoft Windows 95. Windows 95 was a very, very, very good operating system, in my opinion, for its time. It upgraded on the already existing Microsoft Windows version 3.1. Windows 95 was a consumer-oriented graphical user interface. It was released on August 24th, 1995 by Microsoft, and it was a significant progression from the company's previous Windows products. In development, it was referred to as Windows 4.0, or the codename Chicago. Windows 95 was revolutionary in the fact that it was the first version of Windows to include the Start button. And if you'd heard the beginning of our show, you'd hear that we used the song Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones. In fact, that song, Start Me Up, was used in the Windows 95 commercials and ads to put emphasis on the new Start button for Windows 95. Hence the song Start Me Up, the Start button for Windows 95. Ever since Windows 95, Windows has somewhat stuck to the same idea. From Windows 95, 98, ME 2000, XP, Vista 7, and even somewhat 8, they have changed it considerably. But still the basic idea. It still has the start menu, or the start button, and the menu. The menu has changed quite a bit with Windows 8. But up until about Windows 7, it hadn't changed too much. It had a lot of significant improvements over its predecessor, Windows 3.1 and MS-DOS, most notably in the graphical user interface and its relatively simplified plug-and-play features. Windows 95 was very, very popular, and unfortunately, Windows 95 has been the subject of many, and I mean many rants on the internet. You know what I'm talking about, Travis.
Yeah.
Like, there's a song out called Buy It Up. It's a parody on the song Start Me Up. And it's also more well known as the song Windows 95 Sucks. The song is basically poking fun at many of Windows 95's original flaws when it first started.
And for time's sake, we're just going to make it go to YouTube, because...
Exactly. If you want to hear that song, just go to YouTube and look up the song Buy It Up. It's Buy It Up, Windows 95. You'll be able to find it. Also, you can look up the song Windows 95 Sucks by Bob Rivers. But anyway, I'm not going to play that right now because I like Windows 95, and to be honest, in later versions of 95, like 95 version C, it was a very good operating system. I have it installed on an old Pentium and it hasn't given me an issue. So yeah, thank you for listening to John Hewlett's PC history segment. And remember, if you're using an old PC, don't feel bad. I do too. Thank you very much for listening to this section. And now back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
On to more recent matters. Samsung.
Sorry. Go ahead.
as I was saying, recently Samsung unveiled their latest phone, the Samsung Galaxy S5, which features find the specs here, a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor that features a quad-core processor running at 2500 megahertz.
Oh, really?
And featuring 2 gigs of RAM. And with a built-in storage of 16 gigabytes. And with a maximum user space of 10.7 gigabytes. And if you want to view the full specs,
go to www.phonearena.com and look up the Samsung.
It's actually pronounced phonearea.com.
No, it's Phone Arena.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I said, this is our first podcast. Please don't hate on us. It has...
And it's also featuring a Bluetooth 4.0 and USB 3.0.
Which is nice. Has a pretty nice camcorder, too. It'll go up to 3840 by 2160, and it will go up to 30 FPS.
Which, by the way, that's 4K.
Yeah. But I'm going to say this before you go out and run out. Oh, this is awesome. I'm going to get it. There are a few issues with this phone. And the biggest issue is that the camera does have a few issues. It will hang up from time to time, and it has a tendency to act funny, which I'm sure they will remedy in later versions of this phone. As for right now...
Or they can fix it with just a quick software update to the Android.
Exactly.
So what Android does this ship with currently?
Android 4.4.2 TouchWiz UI.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, if you have one, or you want to get one and you want more information, or yours is messed up, just like we're saying, feel free to drop us a line at tech95
Q&A@gmail.com. Now keep in mind, since we don't have the latest and greatest gadgets like other people or other reviewing sites may have, we'll do our best to answer it.
But if we can't answer it, your best bet is to, for right now, go to the manufacturer's website.
Or contact the manufacturer.
Exactly. And now, on to a new video card not new. It isn't a new video card, but it's new to me because I haven't used it. But it's a very nice one. It is a Geforce GT630.
This is the card, I'm looking at GeForce.com's website. And let's see, go to specifications. This is the card I'm looking to put in my current system, when I can afford it. We all got budgets, right? And this is featuring a 2 gigabytes worth of onboard memory. I'm looking at the Kepler
version.
The Kepler version. Sorry.
The GT630 Kepler.
Yep. And it's got a PCI Express slot of 2.0, supports OpenGL 4.3, and
it's supported with, scroll down, thank you, DirectX 11.1 API, CUDA, PhysX, FXAA, and adaptive vertical sync, and it has a maximum digital resolution of 4096 by 2160 squared.
That's pretty darn good in my opinion.
Yeah, for us.
It's going to max out my monitor.
Yeah.
And
try running Doom on that. Haha.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about Nintendo graphics.
Dun, 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 dun.
And for standard display connectors, we got a dual-link DVD, HDMI,
and VGA.
And your normal VGA.
Audio input is internal. Yeah.
Which audio input would be internal, depending on what your BIOS is configured to. That would would forward the sound to the HDMI output.
It's HDMI.
In case you wanted to plug this into your home theater system or HDTV.
And another interesting thing, it has version 4.3 of OpenGL, and it is 3D vision ready, which is very, very nice. So anyway, check that card out. It's a really good card.
Now, this isn't a card if you're going to run Crysis 3 on Ultra. This is more of a card for the casual gamer, more of a Adobe Designer, like Premiere or something. Now, if you want, keep in mind this is for just casual people, not hardcore gamers that run Core i7s in their rigs. Which you can put this card in here, but don't expect top-notch graphics 4K, because this card is not exactly up to
par just yet. Up to par.
Well, it's been out for a little while.
It's been out for a while, but it's not the latest and greatest. You want the latest and greatest from Nvidia? Check out the Geforce GTX 690. It combines the power of 2 Kepler GPUs, and the Geforce GTX 690 is the fastest graphics card ever built. Uses hardware-based frame metering for smooth, consistent frame rates across both GPUs, and a meticulously designed board with dual vapor chamber coolers, and it ensures a quiet operation. If you're a hardcore gamer and you want the latest and greatest cards, and you can go up to Ultra on whatever game you were
Crisis 3.
Crisis 3 Ultra, you're not going to have a problem with this card. But just remember, don't max out your bank account. We don't want to have to hear you cry.
Well, if you cry, I won't hear you.
Just kidding. We ain't mean. But anyway,
is there anything you'd like to add or mention?
Shoot. Besides the fact, in case I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. This is our first podcast. This is a test. I repeat, this is only a test.
And this is, let's see. This is recorded on May 21st of 2014.
It is a Wednesday. And it's being recorded on a HP Pavilion laptop. I didn't really need to say that, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, thank you for listening to our podcast. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop us a line at www.tech95.jimdo.com.
Or shoot us an email, tech95qa@gmail.com, or press that nice subscribe button on our YouTube channel.
Subscribe! Please. At YouTube, at our channel, Tech95. That's all the time we have for today. And remember, you got PC problems.
We can help you out, or at least try.
Exactly. So anyway, thank you for listening. Goodbye!
Bye.